What year did you join Roblox? Lots of you probably joined this year, and I'm really sorry about that, since you guys will probably never be able to experience Roblox's older events that will likely never come back, like the egg hunts, which were a huge part of Roblox. And while today new players get things that never existed back then like voice chat or even UGC, they also have to suffer with Roblox's new prices, which are much more expensive compared to back then. And if you joined in 2015, you're pretty lucky because you got to experience a time when Roblox still had ticks, which many players nowadays likely never even heard of, along with having access to the now removed Builders Club with its exclusive hats. And you guys were likely there when the John Bill myth started to spread around Roblox. And players in 2008 would have experienced Roblox adding shirts and pants to the platform. What year did you join Roblox? Lots of you probably joined this year, and I'm really sorry about that, since you guys will probably never be able to experience Roblox's older events that will likely never come back, like the egg hunts, which were a huge part of Roblox. And while today new players get things that never existed back then like voice chat or even UGC, they also have to suffer with Roblox's new prices.
This boy tried to set the world record under anesthesia, and he got way further than you would expect.
Go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Keep going.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
Keep going.
13, 14,
15. 15. Oh man.
How long could you last?
He's gone.
This boy tried to set the world record under anesthesia, and he got way further than you would expect.
Go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Keep going.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
Keep going.
13, 14,
15. 15. 15. Oh man.
How long could you last?
I don't like. I don't like.
What type of Roblox player are you? Be honest, some of you might be the hermit, or basically you're really inactive on Roblox. Sure, maybe once a month you hop on because your friends are doing the same. You play a few games, but then you go offline again. Maybe for another month, or maybe for an entire year. But props to you guys, since you probably have a social life. Now maybe you're actually the goober, who doesn't really take any game seriously and simply plays for the laughs and to have
Dodging a bullet is not just a phrase when it comes to kill shot. This mech is fast as heck. Oh yeah. Upgrade your mech and pair it with your choice of weapon. Show your skills, team up with friends, and rule the arena. Download and get ready for mayhem.
You can do this. You can do this. You can't do this. We can totally do this. Hi. You guys playing Pokemon Go?
Yeah, are you? Yeah, can I play? Yeah, totally. I'm getting signed.
When I move, you move. Just like that. When I move, you move. Just like that. When I move, you.
This man should not be alive. In fact, on the morning of May 11th, 1996, his wife, Peach, received a call at their home in Dallas, Texas, informing her that he had died somewhere on Mount Everest during the deadliest storm the mountain had ever seen. But the truth was, her husband, Beck Weathers, was still alive, but just barely.
Hey everyone! Welcome back to Peaceful Beings, where we uncover the strangest and most fascinating stories from history. You know how sometimes you're reading about something and it's just so unbelievable, you think, no way, that couldn't have actually happened. Well, get ready.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Subdivisions. As you can see, I made this, I used my own copy of the thing so it wouldn't take as long to build all the borders again. I could just kind of put it in the middle. So I think I'd be able to get videos out to you faster than it would otherwise. Although it'll still probably take a while because look at this chaos.
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yummity yum. It's like a dream. Yum, 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 yummity yum. Bring your sour cream.
New Airhead Sour Bars. They start sour, and they stay sour.
When Abraham Lincoln was assassinated in April of 1865, 3 former presidents were still alive, along with 11 future presidents. 13th President Millard Fillmore was the earliest president still living. As word of Lincoln's death spread across the nation, citizens hung black drapes on their houses, an expression of mourning. The former president's house had no such decorations. An angry mob targeted Fillmore's house, splashing it with black ink. Fillmore often disagreed with Abraham Lincoln. They never battled directly in the political realm, as Fillmore had returned to private life in his post-presidency, but he did voice certain objections. Nevertheless, he supported the Union cause. He even commanded a militia where he lived in Buffalo, New York. Towards the war's end, he advocated for generosity towards the South, which put him at odds with the administration. The lack of mourning drapes, however, was not intentional. Fillmore was simply out of town when Lincoln was killed. An acquaintance who passed Fillmore in the streets noted he wore a badge of mourning and described the assassination as, quote, a great national calamity. He and his militia would escort Lincoln's funeral train when it passed through Buffalo. Fillmore and Lincoln weren't particularly close, but seemed to have a friendly relationship. When Lincoln passed through Buffalo following his inauguration, Fillmore hosted him at his mansion and took him to church. During Lincoln's presidency, Fillmore wrote at least one letter to Lincoln asking for a favor for his nephew. Franklin Pierce was a Democrat and an outspoken critic of Lincoln and the war. Quote, I never justify, sustain, or in any way or to any extent uphold this cruel, heartless, aimless, unnecessary war, a war that, in his mind, was all Lincoln's fault. His positions cost him friendships and his reputation. His home in Concord, New Hampshire, like Fillmore's, wasn't draped in mourning. However, Pierce was fully aware of this. An angry mob descended on the former president's home. Pierce stepped outside and confronted them directly. Quote, I wish I could address...
So I went on Amazon and I found a book called Mommy's Giant Melons. I also found some other great ones, such as D's Big Nuts. We're going to start with an absolute classic, D's Big Nuts, written by Mark Thunder. Big fan. D was a squirrel who had big nuts. Silly guy. His nutsack was so big that it would drag on the ground everywhere he went. Wow. That's pretty big. D had a friend named Sarah who loved nuts. Sarah would go around town trying to put everyone's nuts in her mouth. Silly Sarah, what are you doing? Sarah loved how big D's nuts were. His nuts were her favorite. They were the biggest nuts she had ever seen. Wow. She would play with his nuts all day, and sometimes even at night. Sometimes her mom would join. They would take turns holding D's nuts at night. Wow, what a great plot. Sometimes Sarah would even try to put both of D's nuts in her mouth at the same time. Wow. She would giggle her face would turn red, and then his nuts would come flying out. Now, I must remind you, please don't make edits of me reading this with Vine booms. I would appreciate it. One day, someone ran up to his nuts and started poking them. Oh no! Hey, jerk! Off my nuts, he said, with an angrily expression on his face. I would say the same. Although Sarah loved these nuts, she would sometimes kick them. Remember, kids, kicking someone's nuts is never a nice thing to do. She once kicked them so hard, she busted a nut. Big no-no. Never, ever bust other people's nuts. Dee was very sad that Sarah busted his nut. He just wanted Sarah to play nice with his nuts. Oh, he's thinking about the good times when Sarah was playing nice with his little nuts. And now even look at this. The attention to detail is incredible. One of the nuts is busted. Oh, poor guy. I can't even imagine what I would do if one of my nuts busted. One day, when his nuts were feeling better, she took them to lunch, where she got peanut butter all over them. His nuts were so sticky. Oh, not again. We're so sticky. Oh, not again.
This season, live life in full color with Famous Footwear. Find all the latest styles and trends from the brands you love, like Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Birkenstock, and more. Shop your local Famous Footwear or famous.com.
Introducing Spicy Cinco de Mango Extra Strength Shot. Visit 5hourenergy.com.
After that day, she knew she would need to play nice. Because all good squirrels know how to play nice with big nuts. The end. What a great novel. Next up, we have another absolute classic. Do You Want to Play with My Balls? By the Cifaldi brothers. Illustrated by Santiago Elizalde. Big fan. Look at that. Hey, Louie, do you want to play with my balls? Sure, Chuck. I can hold your ball sack so it won't drag on the ground. What a nice friend. Wow, your balls are so big, I can't even fit them in my mouth. Look at that. Having so much fun. This is exactly what my childhood was like. My mom's always yelling, Louie, get those balls out of your mouth before you choke. God, be careful, Louie. You know that mean girl, Sally? She squeezed my balls so hard, they looked funny. Sally, you can't go around squeezing people's balls. Silly. Yeah, well, when I play with Sally, I always end up with blue balls. With blue balls. Ugh. That's the worst. Billy Johnson made Sally cry last week. Now that kid has got balls. Look at him making Sally cry. She deserves it. Not anymore. Yesterday, Sally kicked Billy's balls so hard, he lost one. That's the worst. It's happened to me twice. Oh! Look, Louie! Your dog is licking my balls. Huh. Wow. Let's roll them on Sparky's fur. Girls hate hairy balls. You know, Chuck, if we show Sally our hairy balls, she'll scream for sure. It's getting a little strange. Yeah, but I don't know. I kind of like Sally. I wish she would play nice with my balls. Yeah, me too. Why does that kid look like Megamind? Hi, Sally. Do you want to play with our balls? Sure, but only if I could play with both of your balls at the same time. And everyone lived happily ever after. The end. What a great novel. Next up, we have maybe the greatest book of all. Mommy's Giant Melons by Mama JC. Illustrated by Gus Yawan. Huge fan. Mommy's Giant Melons. Dedicated to my mother. I went to the store with my mommy today, and a gentleman stopped her along the way. Oh. What's the gentleman gonna say? Excuse me, missus. I can't help but stare. Those melons are the largest I've seen anywhere. Thank you, good sir. I'm glad you approve. But staring, you see, is incredibly rude. Her melons were huge, you couldn't imagine. Like Mars in the sky or eggs from a dragon.
Roku Ads Manager puts Roku's reach within your reach. Sign up at ads.roku.com.
No ads, no ads, no ads. KingShot brings you endless fun without any breaks. It's totally free. Jump into awesome tower defense.
Big. The melons were thrown in a sack round her shoulders. At a distance, they looked like a couple of boulders. But even despite a strong double bag, before we could leave, they started to sag. So wrapped in a shirt, we were off for a stroll through Central Park, a melon patrol. How fun. Going for a walk. Wow. This illustration really brings out the melons, doesn't it? Okay. Some were in shock, while some simply gazed at the monstrous melons. They were truly amazed. Wow. Hey there, Betty. Do you think you could share? It looks like you've got plenty of melons to spare. Aren't they both great? I'd share if I could.
This boy tried to set the world record under anesthesia, and he got way further than you would expect.
Go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Keep going.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
Keep going.
13, 14,
15. 15. Oh man.
How long could you last?
It's gone.
This boy tried to set the world record under anesthesia, and he got way further than you would expect.
Go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Keep going.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Keep going.
But these are for hubby. Get some. They're good. Wow. Looks like the melons are starting to fall out. Better put those away. When they handed out melons, all we could find were the size of a lemon, and that would be kind. It's okay, ladies. You can always get more. Dr. Michael sells melons, you know, by the score. He looks nice. Dr. Michael sells melons? I wouldn't have guessed. He helped me get mine. His place is the best. It was lovely to chat, but we'll be on.
You know what's smart? Treating yourself without cheating your goals. Eat smart with Factor.
You make it through security so fast, the agents applaud. Your travel itineraries are so well written, they're on the bestseller list. And you have access to lounges that don't officially exist. That's why you rent with National, where you can skip the counter and choose any vehicle on the Emerald Isle. Because travel isn't a competition, except that it is. And you're winning.
Hello, friends. My name is JJ, and if I was to ask you to name some animals, what would be the first ones to pop into your head? Actually, wait, do not answer, because I have done my own pseudoscientific study in an attempt to resolve this question. As you know, I always like to analyze things from the perspective of American culture, and since nothing provides a better window into American culture than consumerism, I went online and gathered up a bunch of random samples of American consumer goods that depict a medley of animals in some form, and this included this set of Beanie Baby Happy Meal toys, the animals featured on this Animal Crackers box, the animals from this set of Noah's Ark Little People toys, this collection of animal-shaped cookie cutters, the shapes featured in Mott's Animals fruit snacks, as well as those found in Heinz Zoodles, this set of self-proclaimed creative and fun animal stickers, the animals seen on the cover of Eric Carle's Book of Amazing Animals, the animals from this set of wall decals for baby's bedroom, and this adorable animal print bedspread. And having now crunched the data from this hopefully representative sample of animal medleys, I shall now reveal form, and this included this set of Beanie Baby Happy Meal toys, the animals featured on this Animal followed by lion in second, and bear and monkey tied for third, and then panda in fourth, which is kind of remarkable, right? Of these 6 popular animals, only one is actually indigenous to this continent. The others come from literally the other side of the world. And yet, when you ask a typical American kid what their favorite animal is, they are far more likely to say something like elephant than something that they are likely to have encountered in their actual life, like, say, squirrel. And for that matter, they're also much more likely to say elephant or lion than any other equally exotic animal, like, say, anteater or Gila monster. Now today, we just take this for granted as normal, but it actually originates from a very particular period of American history, the middle of the 19th century, which is so often the case with American cultural phenomena. It was in the Victorian era that we can say that this seemingly random assortment of critters that make up the beloved American animal canon was established for the first time, and it came as the result of a very particularly American thing, the circus. So, in the old days, people living on this continent, and indeed all across the Western world, didn't really know much about the animals found in other parts of this planet. There were no nature documentaries, no National Geographic, no Tier Zoo videos. Most people were incredibly sheltered and didn't know much about anything. This changed once the Europeans began to explore and conquer more and more of Asia, the Middle East, and Africa, where they discovered all sorts of crazy creatures that shocked and amazed them. The late 1700s marked the beginning of the export of exotic animals from the Far East to the West, allowing people to gawk at them with wonder and awe. These sorts of exhibits were known as menageries, and as early as 1806, there had already been menagerie exhibits in the United States showing lions, tigers, elephants, and camels. But getting to view exotic animals in those days was very heavily restrained by geography and class, and remained a very rare and even mystical experience that most Americans could only dream of. I mean, in the days before photography was invented, getting to see weird creatures in real life could be an incredibly emotionally affecting thing, just because nothing could fully prepare you for what it was going to be like. Seeing some great hulking beasts that had been brought over from Asia or Africa, you know, it was like seeing an alien. It was just...
Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts is the #1 movie in the world for 2 weeks in a row.
Keep talking.
And it's one of the best Marvel movies of all time. It begins a powerful new era with a 96% audience score.
With the Navy, however, there would either be nothing or a big red and white